Last week, Monday, we had the first preview of Windows 11 out for insiders in the dev channel. I've been running it here on this display, and so today, here are my thoughts a week later. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Kwaku here. And today, again, we look at the 1 week later, my thoughts on Windows 11, at least in the current build 22,000. I'm sure there'll be a new build out this week or next week. But in the current build, there's a number of things I want to talk about. I'm going to break it down by, as you know, the design, the functionality, the ease of use, pretty much. Those three things are the core things that I look at on this channel for everything, including apps and all kinds of software out there. So starting with the design, as you can tell, Microsoft implemented an acrylic kind of glassy feeling look, kind of like a not fully opaque, glassy looking, feel across Windows. Even through their presentation, they had an acrylic-y kind of somber music playing. If that makes sense to you at all, it was just really calm and just everything was just kind of smooth. The way Panos Panay was talking was kind of sultry and all that stuff. And it translates directly to this here OS. Now up here behind me, I have little two things open. You can't see that side, but I have the new Microsoft Store in preview, and I also do have the new settings. And those also bring Fluent Design up front more. They elevate it a little bit, give it a little bit more character, and by that it's less Windows 8 blockiness that was kind of in the Windows 10 Fluent Design feel. I call this Fluent Design 2.0. You guys might think of things as like WinUI, but I call it, in the art mindset, Fluent Design 2.0 in my personal view, in that we have updated icons to the current standards of Fluent Design. We have we have the rounded corners that are in there now, and those they're slowly going to be rolling out to all of their core applications. Even Office, for Office insiders right now, you can get an updated Office UI overhaul that kind of brings it in line with this current language. I'll look at that in a future video, but there's just a feel to it that kind of just feels good. You go to your Action Center and it shows divided sections. Action Center is a kind of confusing one though. It has some divided sections in there, and to me it looks good. The presentation they've brought forward so far, I'm not gonna say anything about how I feel in the fact that it's pretty much just like a skin over Windows 10, which is true. It feels like that, but how it is presented to us, how it is in the OOBE, or the out-of-the-box experience, when you first take it out of the box, if you install it fresh and you're setting up your accounts before you even see the start menu and before you see your desktop, everything just looks kind of clean, gradientized, and just smooth. I really like how it's looking so far. The settings app is smooth. I've taken a look at all the major features so far that I can see. Taking a look at the widgets dashboard, the widget panel, whatever you want to call it. Taking a look at the action centers, or the dual action center design, how they did it. I've taken a look at the settings, the new Microsoft Store. I think I've taken a look at even the start menu and the taskbar experience, how it starts off default center, because if you have a very large screen like I do, mine is a 49-inch screen, I often used taskbar X to center it, and now I don't have to do that. Now it's just automatically centered right there. So it really helps with the eyes and things like that. So from the design brings the functionality, because in the functionality from the design, form follows function, of course, it is very functional. This is the first preview build. Obviously, they've been testing it internally for a long time, but this is the first preview build of Windows 11 for us to try, the public to try, and it's very clean right now. Even though my Windows copy is not activated right now just because of a new computer setup that I'm working on, everything still works so well. I'm very surprised how functional it is. Things just work. Things are, to me, things are where they should be. On the start menu side of things, I have a mom who is in her like late 50s or early 60s, and she's running Windows 10 obviously on her laptop, but she often asks me where things are located, where files are located when she downloads them. I'm sure you guys get that a lot if you're the tech support of your family. I think that her going to Windows 11 will really help her, because the start menu alone, when you open it up, it brings up you can choose what you want to see for recents. You can choose recent apps that were installed. You can choose to see recent files that were installed. So it just makes it so that way, if a parent of yours who's not too tech savvy wants to see where they installed it, they don't need to worry about it. All it is you downloaded a file, your Word file, whatever it is, just tap the Windows key on your keyboard or hit the start button, and it just brings up the start menu, centered, right in front of you, centered, because you don't really look left and right. You kind of look just forward at first, and then you just look down and you see your file is right in front of you. You don't need to worry about where it's located. That, to me, above all else in Windows 11, that to me is probably the most enticing feature that I really wish was in Windows from the very beginning. Was when you download something, show where it was, or show that file that you downloaded in a familiar way. So in the familiar way is we're used to pressing the start button or a start button on our keyboard, the key. Let us know that any person who's not tech savvy can just press that button, and the first thing that you want to start with is probably that file. And of course, that file is right there. You can click it and it opens up. That should always be there. The function for that purpose alone is probably hands down the best thing they've done so far. Congrats to Panos Panay and the team for that. Now, of course, there's not always going to be positive news with this stuff. Because there are still inconsistencies across Windows. We still have the old control panel, and then we have the settings application. I have seen people able to run the old store. I know that it is the first preview build so far, but a number of people installing, they're having issues with not seeing the new Microsoft Store, not seeing the new File Explorer, not having Action Center working correctly. But of course, if you're in the insider preview, especially in the dev channel, you should expect this stuff and you should know how to go around that to fix it or deal with it, because obviously the insider previews are not for the normal person. Just a number of things that are inconsistent. And then obviously, as we know from Windows 11 as a whole, the big issue is the whole compatibility. Can your computer run Windows 11? Because this computer here, you don't see it behind this chair of mine. This computer here is running a Ryzen 5800X. I was running about 2 weeks ago, I was running an 1800X, and that's actually not listed on their compatible devices. Although it does have FTPM, software-based TPM built into the motherboard. By default, motherboard manufacturers don't have to enable it, so you have to go and enable yourself. But I even enabled it. I wasn't able to run it officially, but I was able to get a workaround to get it to work. But again, that's not a normal person. That's not something a normal person should deal with. If they see the pop-up saying Windows 11, hey, it's ready to go, you ready to install it this fall or whatever, and then they find out that they can't install it, and they'll be like, I just bought this computer, why can't I update the latest version? They're going to be very lost, and they're going to be upset, and they're going to be angry. So I can understand that completely. Me running a 5800X, obviously it just came out in November, so it's over supported on this thing. So that's another thing. There's a number of just little things, the TPM versions. You need TPM 2.0, which is that, it's a built-in chip in most motherboards, but you can also buy a separate chip for your motherboard. That was annoying. There's just some funky things that just didn't work right. And then we're going from there into the final parts, my final thoughts of it. Ease of use. So like I said, I kind of summarized ease of use already. The start menu area, that is probably the most controversial, but to me the most simplified and refined area that I can see so far in the OS. Now I can say one thing, I personally never use Action Center, but the Action Center in Windows 11 needs to be worked on. This function needs to be heavily worked on, because right now, if you click on the calendar/time area on your taskbar, it shows up your notifications and then it shows your calendar below. Then right next to it, when you click on your sound area, that's when you get your quick connect, your project screen, and a bunch of other things. That's what pops up. Before, everything was just in the Action Center. Now they're in two different areas, which is too confusing. Microsoft I know we're in the first insider build of Windows 11. I feel like you guys need to fix that one part, because that's going to be confusing for those who actually do use the Action Center feature. So other than that, there's not too many complaints. Obviously, we have inconsistencies, but overall the UI has been refined. It looks great to me. I still wish we had tabbed File Explorer, similar to Files UWP that I covered way in the past. I still wish we had some other things in there, but so far so good for Windows. For it to be a Windows 11, it's pretty smooth, so I'm pretty happy with it overall. So that's about it. I don't want to go too far into this. I can probably make a part 2 on this, but I'll save that for the Let's Talk About Windows 11 video that will come up who knows when. But let me know what you guys think and what your thoughts are so far with Windows 11 if you've tried it. I'm very just curious what your gripes are, because we all have gripes for this. Obviously, I've seen it all over the web. I've gotten contacted by all this stuff. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. My name is Kwaku, and I hope you guys have a fantastic week. And for those in the US, including myself, happy July 4th weekend and your 3-day off, because this video comes out on Tuesday when you're back on work. Take care.